Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're finishing our Big Ten football predictions today with our last team, Illinois Fighting Illini. So Illinois last season went 3-9 in Lovie Smith's first year there. I think a lot of people thought he would do a lot better in his first year, getting them, especially with Wes Lund at quarterback. I expected a little bit more, but that was not the case. You would think that in a few years, hopefully this year, he'll kind of break through and get Illinois back to a bowl game for the first time since 2014. He won some games in the NFL, so you think that would be able to transition into college. Although they're very, very different. We've seen plenty of good college football head coaches fail in the NFL, but thrive in college and vice versa. So we're just going to see how this thing plays out for Illinois. He does return 11 starters this season, 5 on offense and 6 on defense. He gets Dwayne Lawson, a JUCO transfer at quarterback, so that'll be huge. A good way to replace Wes Lunt there. And then Kendrick Foster, a very experienced running back, so the offense should have a little more firepower this season, and hopefully the 6 returning starters on defense will do well. And Lovie Smith can hopefully get this team back to a bowl for the first time since 2014. So, Illinois opens the season against Ball State. This should be a pretty easy game for them. Shouldn't really have to worry much about Ball State. They have given some teams some challenges in the past, but I'm not really worried about this one. I think they'll come out with some high expectations this season, and Illinois will get the early win over Ball State there. Now, this was a game that I really struggled with right here, Western Kentucky. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that should be an easy win. Illinois should take care of that. That's not the case. We all know that Western Kentucky is not afraid to play the big dogs. I know they get paid to do that sometimes. You know, they went and played Alabama last year. They also played Vanderbilt last year and took them down to the wire. Took them to overtime and tried to go for 2 and win it. Mike White at Western Kentucky is one of the best quarterbacks in the Conference USA. And if Illinois' defense is not the way it should be, he's going to tear them up. And right now, I'm projecting a loss for Illinois over Western Kentucky. I know they have a new first-year head coach because Jeff Braun left and took the Purdue job, but I have faith in their quarterback, and I have faith in Western Kentucky's program, and I think Illinois is not going to be sort of powerhouse this season, and Western Kentucky will come on the road and pull off the upset. And then, unfortunately for Illinois, they play Southern Florida, USF, on the road right after that. And that's going to be tough. Quentin Flowers, one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the country, if you ask me, now led by Charlie Strong at head coach. I think Southern Florida has a legitimate chance to go undefeated this season and win their conference. Could be looking at a New Year's Six bowl berth, much like Houston did a few years ago. And right now, I'm projecting another loss for Illinois because USF is going to be very good. And not only would take care of teams in their conference, but could take care of some teams out of conference as well. Then they get a bye week at 1-2. And like I said, this is one of those toss-up games for me, that Western Kentucky game. So before people freak out, this could easily be a win for Illinois, but right now I feel more confident in picking Western Kentucky. Then they get a bye week and play their first Big Ten game of the season against Nebraska, a team that's also middle of the pack, has 10 returning starters this season, and it's at home. This is one of those things where Illinois could hang with Nebraska for a while, but I think in the end, Nebraska is just better on both sides of the ball, and they're better in head coaching as well, as they've had more experience at that school. So I'm going to give Illinois a loss there. And Iowa, a team that, as I've said before, is very dangerous at home. Illinois has to travel to Iowa this season. And just much like I said with Nebraska, after the Iowa is better on both sides of the ball, Illinois still has a lot of unknowns. They're a very young team. I said they only have 11 starters coming back. They have that junior college transfer. We never know how they're going to do in their transition to Division I. And so I don't know how Illinois is going to be this season. They have a lot of unknown. And right now I'm going to predict another loss for them to Iowa on the road. And like I said, that's a tough place to play. I wouldn't be expecting a win there either. Come back home, luckily get a little break there after a 4-game losing streak, and we'll play Rutgers. I'm going to give them a win there. As I've said before, Rutgers is probably the weakest team in the East by far. And I think Illinois will be able to take care of business over the Scarlet Knights in that one and snap that losing streak, get to 2-4 on the season. Unfortunately, look at that last stretch of the season there, those last 6 games. Minnesota, Ohio State, and Purdue all on the road, and then don't forget 3 other very tough teams, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Northwestern. So they're facing probably the best of the best, with the exception of Purdue there in the Big Ten. So we'll start with Minnesota. Now led by P.J. Fleck, he inherits 12 returning starters and a very good program at Minnesota. They were never failing in the first place. They ended up winning that bowl game of Washington State last season, so they're a very good team. It's on the road. P.J. Fleck's going to bring the intensity. You've heard me talk about this before. I'm going to project another loss for Illinois there. And then Wisconsin, the best team in the West, no doubt in my mind. Only other competitor to Wisconsin would be Northwestern, who Illinois plays later. Wisconsin, though, about Alex Hornibrook, and quarterback's going to be very dangerous this season, has the potential to make the college football playoff. Illinois is lucky to get them at home this season, but right now I'm going to project another loss. I don't think they're going to have enough to defeat the Badgers. And keep in mind, a lot of things do play a factor as we go on later throughout the season. Right now, Illinois knows that they're not in contention for the Big Ten title or anything like that. Wisconsin does. So I think the higher the stakes for a certain team, the better performance they will have, or in some cases, the worst performance they will have because the pressure will get to them. But I don't think that'll be an issue for Wisconsin. And then Illinois goes to Purdue. This is another one of those games that they could potentially win this season. But right now, I really like David Blough at quarterback at Purdue, and it's on the road as well. I know a lot of people say I put too much emphasis on home field advantage, and that could be true, but I do believe in it. I do believe that it works. And with it being at Purdue and with them having a very good quarterback who could tear up this Illinois defense, I'm projecting another loss. And then Indiana, once again, really they don't catch a break here. They face very good quarterbacks, starting with Wisconsin. Hornibrook, Blough, Richard Legault at Indiana, J.T. Barrett at Ohio State, and then Clayton Thorson at Northwestern. We'll start with Indiana. They've got a very dynamic duo there with Richard Legault and Nick Westbrook, and as I've said before, a very good defense. Now they've promoted their defensive coordinator to head coach, and they returned 9 on the defensive side of the ball. Even though it's at home, I don't think they'll get a win over Indiana. And same with Ohio State, with it being on the road. Ohio State easily playing for a Big Ten championship berth there. J.T. Barrett, a very good dual threat quarterback. Ohio State's probably the most experienced team in the Big Ten right now. And I don't see Illinois going on the road and upsetting them. That would be one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset of the year, to defeat Ohio State that late in the season. And then Northwestern to close out the year, team I'm very high on. Could see them making a New Year's Six Bowl. I have them going 10-2. I have a lot of faith in their offense. And as I keep saying this, the key to the Illinois season this year will probably be their defense, because I think their offense will be all right. They do have a few unknowns there, but they're fairly experienced on that side of the ball. But the defense, if they can step up, they might be able to win some of these games that I call toss-ups. Right now, though, I don't see them beating Northwestern, even if the defense was good. And right now, I'm going to project a 2-10 record for Illinois. Now, as I said in my Purdue video, this is another one of those teams that I was a little unsure on after I did my research. Another team that I was a little concerned picking this low at 2-10, and I could see them doing a little bit better. I could see them maybe beating Western Kentucky, and I could easily see them maybe beating a Nebraska team, perhaps at home, coming off the bye week. They'll be rested. So they do have the capability to get between 2 to 5 wins. But as I said with Purdue, the best case scenario for Illinois, I think that this season will be 4 wins. Right now, though, I'm going to keep them at 2-10. Could see them matching that 3-win record if they can get that win over Western Kentucky. But right now, I'm going to keep them at 2-10. Hopefully, Lovie Smith will not get fired, because I think next year he could get Illinois back to a bowl game. It usually take coaches about 3 or 4 years at their schools and get them to that point. But right now, I'm going to give them a 2-10 record, and we'll just see how things play out. And that finishes our Big Ten football predictions. Stay tuned. We're going to do our recap, as we always do, projected conference standings, and then we're moving right into the Big 12 football predictions, and then we'll be done right before the season starts on August 26th. So continue to stay tuned. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and also make sure to continue to share our videos, and we'll see you next time on the Gridiron Expert.